And I just think it's really interesting if we start to look at ourselves, look at our character, look at our behavior. You know, when we get on the mat, we look at how we move. And I feel like sometimes the practice, the movement is a metaphor for some other really big things in our lives. So today, let's get on our feet. Today, while you're moving and you're breathing, I want you observing what's playing in the background. How attached are you to the execution of the poses or to doing what I say? Do you sacrifice your own well-being to do something that I ask of you? You know, these are just interesting things for us to inquire about. And I love when our yoga becomes an inquiry. And so that's what I'm going to ask of you today. Whether you're here in this beautiful park on this beautiful morning or you're tuning in somewhere from a device at home, it doesn't matter where we are on the planet. Like over 22 countries tuning in for this practice. It doesn't matter. I've traveled all over the globe. We are all human. We're all the same. If our skin has a different color or we live in a different region, it doesn't matter. We still want our kids to be safe. We want to have a meal on the table. We want to have a roof over our heads. We worry that someone's going to cheat or lie or whatever. Like, we're all human. And so wherever we are on the planet, while we're breathing and we're moving, I want you to check in. Take a good look at yourself today. Let's bring our feet together at the top of the mat. Big toes touching, hands in prayer at the heart. Find your breath. And know that this practice could be a little humbling. I want it to be. I promise we'll walk away feeling good. That's always my goal. All yoga should have us leave the mat feeling better than when we got on the mat. And so check out where you are right now. How are you feeling? What's on your mind? What's swirling through your mind with all of that dialogue? What are you feeling in your body? Just meet yourself exactly where you are. Let's press into the palms gently and lift the heart a little higher. Feel your feet on the ground. And then on your inhale, reach your arms up high to the sky. Beautiful. Exhale, fold in. Just fold nice and low. Come halfway up. Inhale. Stretch the heart forward. And then exhale, fold again. Inhale with a flat back and come all the way up to standing. Lift your head and your chest. Reach the arms up high. You can stretch to the sky. And then bring your hands right back to your heart. That's good. Simple movements. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale and fold. This is just a half of Vinyasa. We're just working on linking breath and movement. Come halfway up, inhale, and then fold deeply, exhale. And with a flat back, come all the way to standing. Lift your head and your chest, reach those arms up high like you mean it, and then bring your hands to your heart. I want a little volume. I think that's good. All right, inhale, arms reach. Exhale and fold. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. Fold again, exhale. Now this time we're going to bend the knees and come into chair pose. Keep the footprints grounded. See what this pose does to your thinking, to your mood. How unattached do you feel to this pose? Right? It's really interesting though. Now, make sure that the front ribs aren't poking out and that your tailbone isn't poking out. Pull them in a little bit. Feel the core work. That's it. Now sit a little deeper. Take a breath. And then come to standing. Stand really tall, and then this time stretch back a little bit. Keep lifting high so you're not compressing your lower spine. And then exhale, bring your hands right back to your heart. Good. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale and fold. Bless you, wherever that sneeze came from. Halfway up, inhale. Take the right leg and step it back, please. It's a big, long step toward the back of the mat. And then sweep the arms up overhead. You've got to root down into your feet in order to feel stable as you reach up high. Try not to desperately squeeze to the midline, but actually press out and down into your feet. Hold your ground. Spread your fingers a little wider like they're rays of the sun. Take a deep breath, maybe lean back a touch. And then exhale, place your hands on the earth and take a big step back into down dog. Lift your hips, let your head down. I want this to become one of your favorite poses. Your feet should be hip distance apart. So you want to have a little bit of space at the back of the mat. You're going to spread your fingers wide and just try to lift your hips. If you pull your belly in, you'll feel the hips in the middle of the pose rise. Let's take one more breath here. And then look at your hands and with some grace, try to walk your feet to the top of the mat. Feet come together, come halfway up, inhale, and then fold deeply, exhale. Go ahead, bend those knees, chair pose again. This time I'm going to ask you to do it with a smile. Right? Even when we do things we don't like and we do it with a smile, it changes things. Attitude is everything. Make sure you're not sticking your bottom out too much. You've got to pull the lower belly into the spine, feel the strength. And then slowly come on up. You can stretch back if it feels good. And then exhale your hands right to your heart. Again, inhale, arms reach. Exhale and fold. Lift and lengthen, inhale. Now left leg takes that step back. I want you to reach your arms high to the sky. Remember, you're pushing down into your feet. Every moment is an opportunity for you to express yourself, for you to create a feeling of freedom, of detachment. This pose doesn't mean anything. It's what you're trying to express by doing it. Take one more breath, reach back just a touch, and then place your hands down, take a big step back, downward facing dog. Push your hands so you feel like you're moving back. Lift your hips a little higher so it assists that movement back. And then sink your heels, maybe straighten your knees a little bit. Legs are powerful. Take one more breath. And then look forward. Find your way to the top of the mat with your feet together. Halfway up, inhale, lengthen. Exhale and fold. Last time here, not the last chair of the day, but the last in this sequence. Bend those knees. That's it. Some of you are smiling. That's good. Now I want you to notice what happens if you try to sit down a little lower. At the same time, can you also reach a little higher? Right? Feel the opposite actions happening in your body. Check in with yourself. Push through the feet, come on up. Let's stretch back, make it feel so good. And then hands right to your heart. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway up, inhale. We're going to mix it up a little bit. Now both feet go back, taking plank pose. That is your upper push-up position. Blah, 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 right? Try to say that 5 times fast. All right, so hands are going to squeeze toward each other gently, but lengthen your spine. Lift your head up. You want to look a little forward here and keep your knees lifted behind you. The legs can feel quite heavy, and I want you to feel them strong and lifted. And as you make your transition to the belly, keep those knees lifted. So go ahead, bend the elbows, take it down slow. Everything lays down in one sweet movement. Inhale, cobra pose. It's a little back bend. The elbows are bent, the shoulders are soft. Maybe the belly button comes off the mat, but certainly not the hips. You could even try doing it with no hands. That's a great test. Go ahead, lift your hands an inch and see if you can maintain, the work in your upper back. Last breath right here. And then release your hands back down, tuck your toes, and go to downward facing dog. All right. I want you to start to fall in love with that downward facing dog. Feel the balance of your work. Pay more attention to how it feels than how it looks. We're going to take one more breath, push back just a little bit, and then look at your hands and bring both feet right up to the top of the mat. Come halfway up, inhale, fold deeply, exhale. And going back to the flat back. Lift your head and chest and reach the arms up. Come up all the way and reach for the sky. Exhale, hands right to your heart. Again, inhale, arms reach. The only thing we attach to is the breath. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. Step, step back, go to plank and lower on the same exhalation. All the way down to the belly. Take an inhale in cobra pose, and then exhale your way back to downward facing dog. So everything happens in one big, beautiful flow. The breath is still flowing here. How do you feel? Feels so good. Make sure you make that pose feel so good. Honor yourself if you need a break. Push a little harder if you're feeling lazy. Let us rise to the occasion. Push back, inhale. And then look at your hands. Walk your feet right up to the top of the mat. Empty those lungs. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Flat back, rising all the way to standing. We call it Urdhva Hastasana. Hands up. And then hands right to heart. One more round. Inhale, arms reach, breathing and moving. That's all that matters. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen. Inhale. Step, step back and lower. Staying with the breath keeps you in present time. Inhale, cobra pose. And then exhale back to down dog. I really love how you're moving today. The practice looks amazing. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Just keep moving, loads of oxygen through you. Keep the breath as your focal point. Last inhale. And then look at your hands as you exhale. Bring those feet to the top of the mat. Try to do it with some grace. Halfway up, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Flat back all the way up. Lift your head and chest and reach those arms. Exhale, hands come right to your heart center. Good. Inhale, both arms reach. We're going to stay right here. Hook your thumbs together and spread those fingers wide. And see if you can feel like the tailbone can draw down and the front ribs can draw in. So your body streamlines a little bit. And then we're going to take some lateral movement. So the first one goes to the right. Go ahead and stretch over to the right. I want you to feel what's happening in the left side of your body. I know that's the big major mover, but let's not discount, let's not leave out what's happening in the right side body. Can you get a little more length? Can you rise up out of the right side? Lift the right ribs, and then lift your gaze up to your fingers. Let the spine lengthen. Yeah, there we go. The head moves back, the spine grows tall. Take a breath. Now, right arm out to the side, parallel to the earth. Oh, strength and flexibility. First moment, really, besides the chair poses that you might be a little bit challenged, you might have even started holding your breath. Check in. You could back up from the pose a little bit. You could stretch a little deeper. You can actually make this anything you want, but make sure it's honest. On your inhale, rise to center. Hook your thumbs, spread the fingers, feel the energy, lift up out of the ribs. And then stretch it over to your left side. That's it. Dig into your breathing. Feel your feet on the ground. Now I know you feel what's happening on the right side. Can you tune in and feel what's happening on the left? And then enhance the work on the left side. Lift out of your left ribs. Nice, Lisa. I just saw that. And then we're going to float that left arm out parallel to the floor. A little strength and flexibility. How can you shine here? How can we give it all we've got and then be so completely ready to let it go? Inhale, rise to center. It's over. And then release your arms down. Let your body feel for a second. Pay attention. Breathe into your lungs where you just created so much space. And then we're going to continue our flow. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen. Inhale. Step back to plank. I want you to hold your upper push-up. Stay right there. And then roll onto your right side so you're facing left. You got to use your feet and your legs. Lift your hips and your ribs. And then turn your palm forward and reach your bicep over your ear. Yep, feel that side body go long. Tip the head back a little bit. Look toward your hand. And we're looking at the left hand. We're reaching. Take one more breath. Then the arm goes up, the eyes go down. Return your hand to the mat and lower down slowly. Yeah, heat's going to come quick today. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. So it's these moments where you start to get challenged, where we start to almost feel things unravel. You know, I want you to look at that. Come forward, plank pose. Turn it onto your left side so you're facing right. How can we work as a team? How can we pull our strength together? Push down to rise up. Lift from the core. Go ahead, take the bicep over the ear. Feel the side body long. No compression in the lower side. The bottom waist is lifting. The bottom waist is lifting. Take a breath. Return your arm up to the sky. Eyes down, hand down, and lower yourself down. Yeah, inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. And now walk your hands to the back of the mat. So I want you to walk towards your feet. Your feet should be about hip distance apart. And then inhale halfway up. Let's hold right there. Put your hands behind your back and interlace your fingers. And then straighten your arms to the best of your ability. And then exhale, fold back in. As your head goes down, the arms can pull away from your back a little bit. And you might even be able to squeeze your shoulder blades together. As the shoulder blades squeeze in, you feel the collarbones widen, and we are just opening up a space around the heart. All of the planks, all of that upper body work, we're just releasing the tension back out of the shoulders. Sometimes when we do the crazy shapes and poses, it's simply to get the tension out of the body. Take one more breath. And then go ahead, release your hands, please. Soften your knees. I want those knees bent. And tuck your tailbone and your chin. So now everything feels round. The chin is tucked in toward the chest. The tailbone is tucked under like a scared dog. Your knees are bent so you can push into your feet. And I want you to roll up through your spine one vertebra at a time. Use the support of your core. Take your time. Feel that process. And then stand up tall. Check in. How do you feel? So far, so good? Good. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale and fold. Lift and lengthen. Inhale. Walk it out to plank pose. Let's pause here for a moment and take another inhale. And then exhale as you lower. Inhale for cobra pose, that little mighty back bend. And then exhale back into downward facing dog. We're going to come into our first warrior pose. So right foot steps up to the hands. The left foot turns in flat. And then we rise up. It's actually quite incredible how invested we can get in the execution of a pose. And it's partially my fault because I am constantly giving you cues which you might misread as perfection. But really all I'm after is alignment. I want you to feel better in the pose. So I need you to press into the back foot. Make the left foot come alive. Make the left leg really straight. And then try and turn the left leg in a little bit. As the leg turns in, the left hip and the left ribs might be able to come a little more forward. But match how much tension there is there. Don't force. Don't fight your body. Pay attention. Now, I know that if you pull in your lower belly, you can start to elongate up through the side waist that we've been stretching, and you can give me a really big and beautiful expression from your hands. That looks so good. The last piece will be to bend the front knee a little deeper. Make sure you don't lose anything you created in that back leg. And know that all of that was to inspire the pose, not to create perfection. Take one more breath. Inhale here, reach, and then exhale, flow it out. Hands down, step back, and lower. Inhale for cobra. And then exhale back into downward facing dog. We're going to do warrior on the other side. Left foot steps up, right foot turns in. And I know we made a substantial investment in the work on the first side, so I want us to give the same equal attention to the left side because it might feel different in your body. Make sure the right foot is grounded, the right leg feels sturdy. We're trying to internally rotate that back leg, which means that the right hip and the right rib might be able to come a little more forward. From the pit of your belly, if you draw in, you might be able to pull your body away from the front leg a little bit and elongate upward. That upward action can go all the way to your fingertips, which starts to mean that you are fully in it. You are embodying your work. Make sure there's a breath flowing free. And then very gently and very sensitively start to bend into the front leg and see if you can go in a little deeper. That is it. This is mindful action. This is consciousness. Right here, take a breath, give me your fullest expression, and then exhale, flow it out. Hands down, step back, and lower. That's it. Inhale, cobra, and then exhale back into downward facing dog. So we made a really good impression on both sides. The body knows the pose now. We're going to come through it a little quicker. Right foot steps up, left foot turns in. You have one breath to come up and give me your most beautiful full expression with all of those little things. And then exhale, come right back out. So moving fast doesn't mean getting sloppy. It actually means paying even more attention. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. And then do it on the other side. Left foot steps up, right foot turns in. And then exhale, right back down. I like how you're moving, which means we can probably keep this pace. Yep, make your way to downward facing dog. Take a really nice big inhale and let out a big old ah. Yes. All right, look at your hands. Let's walk our feet to the top of the mat. Come halfway up, inhale, and then fold deeply, exhale. Bend your knees, chair pose, one breath. Come to standing, and then release your hands right to your heart. So we have done all of the pieces of a Surya Namaskar B. That is a sun salutation version B. We've done all of the pieces. I'm going to walk you through it. The key is that when we move quickly, we don't get sloppy. When we move quickly, we have to get even more focused on our breath and our form. So I want you to pay attention this time as we move. If I'm speaking too fast, you can move a little slower. And if I'm speaking too slow for you, feel free to move a little faster. I can only pace, I can only cue at one pace. And there's probably 200 of you here trying to do the yoga and who knows how many more at home. And so you have to find a way to get really connected to yourself. That would be the only thing I'd want you to attach to, is your own breath. Are you ready? All right, breath should be flowing in and out. Feel the rhythm of your breathing so you know how much time you have in between each transition. And then when you're ready, on your inhale, take chair pose. It's one breath in. As soon as you're ready to exhale, you're going to forward fold. On the in-breath, you lift halfway and lengthen. The exhale, both feet go back and you lower. So empty the lungs. One deep breath in cobra. You start to exhale as you push to down dog and right foot steps up, left foot turns flat. Rise on the inhale, warrior one. As soon as you're ready to exhale, it's hands down, step back, lower. Take a deep breath in cobra. Start the exhale as you move toward down dog. Immediately left foot steps, right foot turns. You have one big inhale. Rise, create that beautiful warrior, and then exhale it right back down. Try to make the breath last long. Inhale, cobra. Exhale back to down dog and recover. Now you know why this pose feels like coming home. You get to be still. You get to reconnect with your breath. And just like that, it's over. Let's take one more breath here. Look at your hands. Walk your feet right up to the top of the mat. Come halfway up. Inhale. Fold deeply. Exhale. Here's a strong finish. Bend your knees. Chair pose. Exhale as you come to standing. You could stretch back if it feels good. And then exhale, bring the hands right to heart. You did amazing. How do you feel? How do you guys feel? You feel that good? Come on, how do you feel? Yeah, all right. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, let's forward fold. Come halfway up, inhale. Take it back just like before, plank pose and lower. Inhale to cobra. And then exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to start moving through some more complex movements. Right foot steps up. Let's stay on the left toes. Rising for high crescent lunge. Good, I like it. Hands come to heart. So we make things a little simpler. I want you to be up high on the ball of the back foot. So make sure your left heel is off the mat. And then that left leg can be a little bit turned in. That left hip, that left rib can come a little forward. That's it. Now, I want you to lengthen forward and hook your left elbow outside your right knee for a spinal twist. Left elbow outside the right knee. As soon as your weight went forward, you need to push back through that left leg. Maintain your balance. I like it. Turn from the belly just a little bit deeper. And then with your hands in prayer, return back up to center. Arms reach. Yeah, not so easy. Exhale, hands to the earth. Take a big step back into downward facing dog. Very nice. When you're ready, left foot steps up. Stay on the right toes. Rise for high crescent lunge. Find your balance. You'll feel it. Try it. If you lean a little forward or you lean a little back, the whole thing feels different. You've got to find your ground in your feet. You've got to lift out of the pit of the belly. Let's draw our hands to the heart. Just making the center of gravity a little bit smaller makes your balance better. And then we're going to lean a little forward and hook the right elbow outside the left knee. Keep lengthening forward with your head and chest and keep straightening that right leg back. So we feel some length and support. We're turning from the belly. You can push into your palms to broaden your chest. And then when you're ready, very slowly return back to center. Inhale, the arms reach. Nice work, everyone. Hands down, take a big step back. Some of you are vinyasing, some right to down dog. It's all good. We're going to walk our hands to the back of the mat. Find your hands back by your feet. Inhale and lengthen. Make sure the feet are open, at least hip distance apart. And then take your peace sign fingers. Remember peace man, right? Like index and middle finger. And we're going to make a hook and wrap around the big toe. So you're grabbing your big toes, the palms face each other. Take another breath, look up and lengthen. And then exhale, fold in. Fold the crown of your head down. Let your elbows pull out slightly to the sides. And breathe. That's it. As your fingers pull the toes up off the mat, I want you to push the toes back down. Yes. You have to stay grounded. Everything happens in equal measure. We need to check in with ourselves, and we need to look for the pushes and the pulls. Almost every action that we have in the body has an equal opposite action. And when we do them in sync, our poses become steady and effortless. So be careful if you're overworking. Be careful if something went dormant. We need to keep the body awake and alive. We need to spread our consciousness throughout the practice. Now, when you're ready, let's release our fingers. Bend the knees, tuck the tailbone and the chin, just like we did before, and roll it up really slow. Head comes up last. Belly is in, hamstrings feel strong. Nice. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale and fold. Lift and lengthen, inhale. Go ahead, walk those hands out into plank pose. Take a deep breath in. Exhale as you lower down slowly. Inhale for cobra, stretch through the front of the spine. And then exhale back into downward facing dog. Okay, right foot steps up. Stay on your left toes, high crescent lunge, rising on the inhalation. And then turn to your left, pivot the back foot flat, and come into a warrior two stance. So just like we took some time with warrior one, we're going to actually try to learn how to execute warrior two. I want you to feel both feet really grounded. You're doing so good. All right, so both feet feel really grounded. And as you press gently into the front foot, can you encourage the front knee open a little? For some of us, that front leg is going to feel like it's stuck, right? So you might not be able to move it, and that's okay, but we're trying to encourage it a little bit open. And as that right knee opens, can you also pull the left hip back a little bit and draw your tailbone down? So we try to rebalance the pelvis. Some of those movements happen easily, some of them not so much, but just sort of be in them. Take one more breath where you are, and then straighten your front leg and reach your arms straight up high to the sky. Good. We're going to come back into warrior two again. It's called a pumping warrior. So we bend the front knee, we come back in. Again, an impression being made. And then inhale, arms up, straighten the front leg. And here we go again. Bend the front knee, come on down into the pose. Last time, inhale, arms reach. Exhale, warrior two, last one, best one. And then reverse your warrior. Left arm drops, right arm rises. Feel the stretch in your side waist. That should feel really good. See if you can take your gaze up toward that right hand. Remember that front knee is being encouraged to open a little wider. Now, take your left arm and reach out behind you, parallel to the earth. A little strength, a little flexibility, a little grace. Pull in the belly and return to warrior two. Straighten your front leg, say, ah. Yeah. And then come into Trikonasana, your triangle pose. Triangle pose, the right hand goes to the right shin, the left arm goes straight up to the sky. We're working in the side body. So be careful if you're bending forward or bending back. Sort of like when we were in the side plank. Just being fully aware also when we were doing our standing crescent. We want to be aware of the planes of the body. So the hips try to move a little forward, the head, neck, and shoulders move a little back. Now turn the left palm forward and reach the bicep over the ear. Stretch through the side waist. Push a little bit into the left pinky toe. Get grounded as you reach even further. And then inhale, left arm up. Exhale, rise. Beautiful. Bend that front knee. Feel your warrior one more time. And without getting attached, go ahead, flow it out. Hands to the earth. Find your breath. Step back and lower. Inhale for cobra pose. Heart wide open. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, let's take a really nice deep breath in, open the mouth and just let out that big old sigh. And then the left foot steps up, we get on the right toes, we're gonna come to high crescent as a transition. We'll move into that whole sequence on the other side. So you're gonna turn to the right, put the back foot down flat, and open your arms wide like wings. Know that tweaking the different little movements in the body is not about perfection or making the pose look any certain way. It's about finding where it feels better for you. So if you open the left knee a little and pull the right hip back, maybe tuck the tailbone, you might feel like the bones fit together a little better. You might try that movement and find that it jammed everything up, and then you need to go back where you were. This is the moment of inquiry. So what is it that you're trying to achieve? Let's put our eyes on the left middle finger. That's where our eyes belong, right there. Can you bend a little deeper into the front knee? Let's start the pumping warrior. Inhale, arms reach, straighten that front leg. And then exhale, bend the knee, come in. That's it. Inhale, arms reach high. As you exhale, bend the left knee, look at your left hand. Again, inhale, reach. Each time we go in just a little deeper. We're going to do one more, and then we're going to hold. Go ahead, find your best form. After every touch, warrior 2, and then reverse the warrior. Right arm down, left arm up. What happened to the front knee? In some cases, I see the knee turning in. See if we can keep encouraging it out. As you reach up, can you also sink down? Look for freedom. We're not attached to the perfection. We are looking for breath. We are looking for space. It's not about how deep you go, it's how much space you create. Right arm goes out behind you. Feel the core work. Strength and flexibility in perfect balance. I know this requires a lot of strength from your inner core. Don't hold your breath. Take one more inhale here. Return to warrior 2. Exhale. Nice work. Straighten the front leg. Say ah. And then explore triangle pose. What I love about triangle pose is that it really, right before your eyes, it begins to evolve. You can keep your hand on your shin. And then once your side body actually acclimates to the side bend, you actually can go in a little bit deeper. Think about the plane line. Think about keeping your spine in one straight line. The head isn't forward, the hips aren't back, but we're drawing it in, streamline. Nice work, everyone. Turn the palm forward, reach the bicep over the ear. You're going to make that sideways long, and remember, if you're reaching forward, you also have to push down into that right foot. In order to reach, we have to ground. We want balanced actions. That's it. Now, arm comes up. Then you rise up. Bend into that front knee. Beautiful work. And then flow it out. Flow with your breath. Exhale as you lower. Take an inhale as you move through your back bend. And exhale your way back to downward facing dog. Very nice work, everyone. Last breath here. And then we're going to walk our feet right up to the top of the mat. You can jump, step, or walk. I like how you do that. Come halfway up, inhale. Fold, exhale. Bend your knees, please. Chair pose. All right. So we're going to try really hard not to let the pose get the best of us. We are going to find a way to let this pose bring out the best in us. Hands come to heart center. Twisting to the right side. Left elbow is going to hook outside of your knee. I like what I see. Sometimes the left knee and the left hip get a little sneaky and they slide forward. See if you can pull them back a touch. Take one more breath. Twist from the middle. And then return to chair pose. I know that's not what you wanted to hear. Reach the arms high. Come to standing. Stretch back. Make it feel good. Let it go. And then hands to heart center. Inhale, chair pose. Hands to the heart. We're going to take our twist to the other side, left side. So right elbow hooks outside the left knee. And just be aware, sometimes the right side of the body gets a little sneaky. The right knee and the right hip sneak forward because your head went too far to the left. Keep the weight even on both feet. Try to lower your hips and lift your chest. Take one more breath. Twist a little deeper on the exhale. And then return to chair pose. Hips low, heart high. Reach through the arms. Press through those feet. Come on up. Let it go. So good. Hands to heart. All right. Inhale. Arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. The best is yet to come. Halfway up, inhale, lengthen, step back, and lower, please. Inhale to cobra, and then exhale into downward facing dog. We're going to take one breath in down dog, and then I want you to come onto your hands and knees. So very softly place your feet down, knees under hips, hands under shoulders. Let's take the right arm and sweep it out to the side. So reach all the way out wide, and then take that right hand and thread it through behind the left wrist, all the way through until the shoulder touches the floor. We call it thread the needle. And there's a lot of things happening here. A lot of weight sometimes starts to shift around. So press the tops of your feet and your shins down. Get your hips to feel stable. And then I want you to lift the left arm straight up to the sky. You might feel your balance shift there, so make sure you're pressing your right hand down. Root the back of the right hand into the floor, and then turn your left palm forward and reach the bicep over the ear. Sideways long, fingers can touch the ground. You can actually grip the floor with your fingers. Feels nice if you have nice spider fingers, and you can even walk the hand back a little bit to open that twist a little more. That's it. And if you're happy where you are, stay. If you feel like you want to add a little something, you can go ahead and extend your left leg back. You can tuck the toes and just feel what it feels like to lift the knee. So now that whole side body feels long. You might even be able to lift your left foot off of the earth. Be gentle with yourself. If you're not down on your shoulder and you're not comfortable in the twist, you should not be lifting your leg. That's just a tip. One step at a time. That's it. Now I know the concrete underneath your mat is a little bit fierce. Some of you are on the grass, but you might even be able to add one more full expression here, and that would be bend the right knee, the one that's on the ground. Lift the foot off the floor and just balance on your knee. Yep, not so easy. There you go. If your leg was a little lower, you have it. And then whatever part of that you're playing with, notice how attached you're getting and see if you can just let it go. We're going to let the right foot down, let the left knee down, pull that left hand back in front of the face, and then sweep that right arm all the way back up and out. And then when you put your hand down on the floor, you realize that that's over, right? And in the real scheme of life, did it mean anything? No. If you think anyone's going to measure your value as a human on if you can twist yourself into a pretzel and balance on one knee, you got to rethink that, right? Your value as a human is so much more than that. It's so far from that. The only thing that pose does is it shows how much discipline you've had in your practice, right? It shows how far you're willing to push yourself, how much you value your state of mind. Let's try the other side. Left arm is going to sweep out, and then we thread the left arm through. Thread all the way to the shoulder, take that arm all the way through, and then press the back of the left hand down. That's it. Make sure you push down through your shins and your feet. You got to realize how the rooting down really does help this pose to happen. And we take it one step at a time so that we are executing, right? We are really, really mindful about all of it. Right arm goes up, see how that feels. And no, when you lift the right arm up, you got to push the left one down. And you want your left palm facing up, so don't twist your arm or your shoulder. Turn your hand over so the palm is up. Turn this over, yeah, and then press it into the floor. It's like your fingernails are pressing down, yeah. Palm forward, reach the bicep over the ear, sideways long. I mean, that in and of itself is enough. Fingertips start to grip the ground. You can stay right there, or you can experiment with straightening your right leg back. Just tuck the toes, lift the knee, one baby step at a time. If you're still breathing and calm, then you can lift your right foot from the mat. And right there, if you're still breathing and you're calm, you could try bending the left knee. That would mean that your left foot lifts. It looks pretty freaking cool. But again, not a measure of who you are. And I think if you fall, good. Because if you fall and you laugh, that means you're having a good time. If you fall and you get mad, that's not such a good sign. Let's start to unwind that. Go ahead. Put the foot back down, the knee back down. Bring your hand by your face. Let's take the left arm all the way out. Reach it up, breathe in, and then place your hand back on the mat. Nice work. Go ahead and give me a little bit of organic movement. It could be a cat-cow or a dancing lion. I just want you to move in a way that makes everything feel kind of fluid, and you make sure that you didn't hurt anything and everything feels really yummy. I think we forget that we can move organically. We can check in with ourselves and we can smooth out some of the tension. As you move, make sure you're breathing and try to move in both directions. And then we are going to come to that tabletop pose and be still for a moment. The right foot is going to step forward to the hands, and we're going to move the right foot over to the left for pigeon pose. In pigeon pose, we want to make sure that the right knee stays to the right side of the mat. So you don't want to let that right knee point into the center. And we don't want to sit really heavy on one hip either. We want to make sure that our hips are in the center. You can put your shoes or your water bottle or roll up a towel underneath your right sit bone if you need some support. Go ahead and rest down onto your forearms. That's it. What are you gripping? Where are you holding? Can you trust the pose? Can the shape of the pose do the work for you? And you make sure that you are focused and present with the sensations. Now I know some of you took a little while to settle in, and so if you found a place that feels like you know intuitively it's good for you, I want you to stay. I want you to own that. Like you just got here and you're just feeling it and you want to stay. Some of you are in there and you're still hungry. I know that feeling. I'm going to ask you to add a twist. So we come up onto our forearms. Yep. And you're going to press into the left forearm and start reaching the right arm up to the sky. Then wrap that right arm around behind your back. Push the back of your hand into your lower back and open your chest a little broader. That's it. Now, I know that that's working for some of you. I also know that some of you could probably go deeper. So, I'm not sure how to get you there without releasing the right hand back down. Go ahead, put the right hand back down if you want to explore deeper and thread the left arm all the way through instead of the forearm. There we go. And then go ahead, wrap that. That's it. Thread the left arm all the way through and then wrap the right arm back around your back. Now remember, when we thread through, we got to push down the hand on the earth. As you push down, you'll open up that chest even more. You might even be able to bind with the right big toe, and that's that little foot stuck underneath you. You got it? Yeah. Now, whatever you decided to do, if you stayed where you were, if you tried the forearm twist, or if you took the twist and bind, make sure you're happy. Maybe you could get some information here. Figure out why you're doing what you're doing, why you chose what you're doing. Yeah. I mean, I feel like moments like this in the practice expose our crazy, right? They do. They expose our crazy, but sometimes we get so wrapped up in it that we think that that's us. So I'm asking you to look today. Why are you making the choices you do? How are you feeling about them when you do them? Let your yoga be an inquiry. I promise you, the poses don't have any meaning. It's just how you do them. It's what they teach you. Take one more breath where you are. And then we have to release. So the right hand has to come back down so we can take the left arm back under the shoulder. Hands on the mat, tuck your left toes, and then take the right leg up in the air behind you. Stretch it up and make it feel so damn good. Yep, up to the sky, hip open, breathing. You can circle the ankle, you can bend and straighten the leg, and then eventually place that right foot back on the mat. Fall in love with your down dog. It should feel like coming home. Take one more breath, push back just a little bit. I invite you for one last vinyasa, or simply drop to your knees and get your pigeon going on the other side. So up to you. I know that vinyasa could feel really good, or you could feel spent, like you just don't have another one in you. Eventually the left foot steps forward. We move the foot over to the right, dropping the left knee down to the left. And then we sink in. Stretching the right leg back, lowering onto the forearms, and just take care of yourself here. Notice what comes up. Are you in your body? Are you in your sensations? Or are you in your thoughts? Have you completely left your body and your thoughts? Are you in the music? It happens to me all the time. I catch myself, I'm having out-of-body experiences and I am completely immersed in the mantra. So just look, inquire. How's your breath? Now you can choose, and there's nothing more powerful than choosing. You choose to stay or you choose one of the twisting variations. It's totally up to you. So you can stay where you are, you can come up onto your forearm, wrap the left arm around behind your back. If that felt really good on the first side, do it. Just elongate, make space. If you liked going in a little deeper, then go ahead and thread the right arm all the way through, just like we did earlier in that thread the needle pose, balancing on our knee, right? You can thread the arm all the way through, wrap the left arm around and bind with the toe. And then remember, if you push down with the right hand, like really use the right arm, hand, you can open the twist even bigger, right? You create your own assist here. You create your own space here. Check in with how you feel. Make sure you're clear about why you're doing what you're doing. Bless you. We're going to take one last breath here. And then if you're in a twist, we've got to unwind the twist. If you're down deep in your pigeon, you got to get back up onto your hands. We're going to tuck the right toes and float that left leg all the way up and back. Stretch it up till it feels so good. That's it. Yep, make it feel good. You can bend it, stretch it, move it. And then carefully place it onto the mat. Feel your last down dog. Take a deep breath in, push back, and then gracefully find your way into a seated position. We're going to sit for a moment, and really, literally, just one moment. Just be still. A moment to inquire. If you had attachments throughout the practice to any of your poses because you were working so hard, just notice how quickly things disappear. Most of the time, those struggles come from the ego, not really from the yoga. The yoga is the inquiry. And so I want you to just notice what you noticed. Take a moment right now to acknowledge. Notice if you are frustrated by those dump trucks, right? Who cares? As long as you're not the one driving it and you're not working right now, like, hallelujah. Let's take one more breath. And then really gently unfold your legs and lay yourself down onto your back. Communication. And so we lay down flat onto our backs. And the thing I love the most, especially here at the park, but always in all of the different classes that I teach, all the different styles that I teach, the wide range of ages and levels, all the different color skin, all of the different religions, everything, the diversity between all of us, our dogs, our children, all of it. When we lay down onto our backs with bare feet, just like this, all I see is humanity. Again, all of us doing this practice, we are all the same. We come with different stories, that's all. But we all want the same things. In the end, we want to be healthy. Obviously, if we value this physical practice, we value our health and our well-being. We must value community and connection. And so right now, just bear witness to your humanity. Go ahead and take a nice deep breath in. Let it out with a little ah. And I know that I put you in the stillness pretty quickly when we got down onto the ground. And so as you begin to awaken, as you begin to stretch and move, I want you to really honor your body. You might need to pull your knees to your belly or rock a little side to side. Listen to your intuition. Listen to the inner voice. It tells you. Your body doesn't lie to you. It's your mind that manipulates the information. Listen carefully. And then in your own way, in your own time, you can eventually find your way back to a seated position. So a lot to think about. And so today we just allow the practice to be like a mirror that we hold up to ourselves. And we just hold it up in inquiry. It doesn't mean that we don't have the same experience moving through the poses. But maybe we just awaken our awareness to what's happening beneath the surface. Our yoga touches us physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. As human beings, we have a real opportunity to grow from doing this practice. I am so grateful that there are so many people, like millions of people on the planet, doing this work, this inquiry, dedicating time, diligently getting on the mat week after week, exploring their body, understanding their physical being better, clearing some of the stories, letting go of some of the tension. Each one of us has a responsibility to take care of ourselves. The way we show up every day matters. And I know for those of us that are doing work like this, we're showing up a little better every day. And so I thank you so much for coming out and doing the work. This is not the work for the weary. I believe it's for the brave and the courageous. I am honored to be in your presence. And I thank you so much for your dedication to this practice. I would love for us together to raise our voices and sound one Om, just one beautiful sound, a sacred sound. It's a universal sound, A-U-M. It's meant to help raise your vibration. Just one last thing. If the movement and the breath didn't take you up enough, this is one last chance. Put the cherry on top. So hands together at your heart. Take a really nice deep breath in and sing so loud that my mic picks it up. I'm coming right into the middle over here because it's always just me on the mic. I want to hear you guys. I think I have some friends right here that might help me out. Are you ready? Deep breath. Oh. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Om peace, peace, peace. A little bit of peace for each of us translates into a whole lot of peace for the rest of the world. Namaste, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so, so much. Happy Saturday. Happy, happy Saturday. As always, I have the clipboards going around that I need you to sign for the city. There is one clipboard that goes around if you want to be added to my email list so you can stay in the loop on what's happening. I do a monthly blog, and then we have a monthly calendar of events. So if you want to just check in and see what's on my mind and what's happening around here, I would love to have you be part of that. If you're not receiving them, but you did give me your name, we might not have been able to read it clearly, so it might not have got put in the computer properly. So just give it to us again and just write it really clearly. Also, I have passes and magnets. I have car magnets if anybody would like. Yoga Journey logo for their vehicle. Tell the world that you practice yoga. So right here, if anyone would like one for their car, I have them. I also have information on how to tune in for this practice live and information on my trip to Cuba coming up in November. The trip to Cuba is probably going to be the coolest trip I've ever done. Honestly, I've done a lot of luxury trips, I've done adventures, I've done all kinds of different experiences, and thank you. And the trip to Cuba is just going to be uber cool. We are doing yoga and music with the Cuban people. In Cuba, we're going to practice in Havana with the Cuban community. We're doing yoga. We have live musicians. I'm traveling with DJ Drez, who's going to mix music live for us in every class. Just like he does for us on Something Big. Don't forget that registration is open for Something Big, too. People are starting to register. There's, I don't know how many already, but it's starting to come in. All of our vendors and sponsors are starting to confirm. So that event is right around the corner. So Cuba in November. Big, giant community, January 1st. Magnets for your cars, passes for the studio, all kinds of stuff. Come up and see me. Yep, that's how we tune in live for this class.
Do you mind if I do some more poses?
Oh, no, go right ahead.
Hi, I'm Shri.
Hi, Shri.
I think I met you at Yoga Sound.
Yeah, we have met before, for sure. Yeah. that's so nice. Oh, good.
This is really good.
Yeah, thank you. Today we ran out of a little time, so we couldn't do any of the floor work. So I saw you wanted to do a little
Yeah, I
John
do.
like I saw. It's good. Go right ahead. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was really great.
I like to keep
Is
it.
that a Hercon
This is
diamond?
no. This is a clear quartz crystal.
Ah,
Yeah.
Herkimer diamond.
Yeah. I wish it was a diamond.
Herkimers.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
Yeah, no, not today.
That's very pretty.
Yes,
Nice
thank
to
you.
meet you.
Nice to meet
Cherie.
Cherie. It's really nice to meet you too.
Thank you. Great. Awesome.
You're welcome. I barely got to say hello.